now to that new evidence and testimony in the double murder trial of Alex Murdaugh. Two close family friends saying that they are 100% certain that they can hear Murdaugh's voice in the background of a video taken by his son, Paul, which prosecutors say places the defendant at the murder scene moments before his wife, Maggie, and his son were killed in 2021. Now, Murdaugh claimed that he didn't go to the family's kennels that night until he found his wife and son's bodies and appeared emotional in court as the video was playing out. So let's bring in attorney Brian Buckmire, ABC News contributor, also host of Law and Crime Network. He's been breaking down moment by moment for us within this trial. So Brian, let's start with that 58-second video, and we'll show it here. It's from Murdaugh's own son, directly contradicting his story. These aren't just strangers testifying. I mean, Rogan Gibson and Will Loving were like second family to the Murdaughs. So how damning do you think this is to the defense's case now?
I think it's very damning because you have the alibi by Alex Murdaugh saying that he's nowhere in sight of this kennel. But according to the prosecution, the timing of this video puts him in close proximity, not only to the location, the dog kennel, where the murders had happened, especially of Paul Murdaugh, but also close in time. That's the opportunity that many people think of when you think of murders, the motive and opportunity. And when you have two witnesses who are close family friends to both the victim as well as the defendant, for lack of a better term, they have no dog in the fight to kind of lean to one side or the other. So when they say it's 100% Alex Murdaugh's voice, you can kind of take that statement to the bank, and I think the jury will as well, and use that against him.
Right. And here we are looking at him breaking down yesterday in court. You know, there was that additional Snapchat video too, right, that Paul sent the evening of the murders. That also played out in the courtroom, showing him and his dad planting trees on their property. And that was about 7 p.m. And most noticeably, Alex is wearing different clothing than what he was wearing when law enforcement arrived, which the state says happened less than 2 hours later. So how critical do you think this is to the prosecution's case?
I think it's going to be critical for the prosecution, but I think the defense can also use it as well. The defense is going to use that Snapchat video of Alex and Paul together planting trees, loving father, and they're going to ask the question that many people have been scratching their heads about is, why would a father who loves his son like this 2 hours before a murder be the one that kills him? That's strong for the defense. Well, the prosecution is going to look at the difference of clothes, saying that he obviously changed, and you obviously have an officer who said that during that interview in the car, he's very sweaty, but his clothes are dry, suggesting that he's maybe running back and forth, maybe very excited, very flustered, but his clothes don't have any blood splatter. His clothes don't have any sweat on them. So why did Alex Murdaugh decide to change his clothes between the time that he was with his wife and son and after their murder? That's going to lead to a reasonable person coming up with the idea that, well, he murdered them and he's trying to cover it up.
Right. And then there was this other pretty big update from today in court, and that was the judge agreeing to hear the evidence that the state has to show Murdaugh allegedly stealing money from his clients and family law firm. We've been talking a lot about his finances and that he was nervous about that being exposed, taking money from his clients illegally. How big of a deal do you think this is going to be now that this is going to be entered?
So the first two parts we just talked about, that's the opportunity. Now we're talking about the motive. You don't need it to prove a criminal case, but it helps a lot. I'm not sure if it's going to come in. So far, I've been listening to it, and all I can tell you is Alex Murdaugh, more likely than not, embezzled or misappropriated the funds from his clients while he was a law firm. But I'm not hearing that connection to the murder. I'm not hearing, yes, his wife heard about it and she was going to report him to the authorities and that's why he had to murder him. Or he was going to take the money and skip out of town and leave his wife and son, and his wife and son knew about it. Unless the prosecution can connect it to something involving these double murders, I don't see why the judge will let it in.
All right, Brian Buckmire, we'll continue to follow it, and we always appreciate you to be with us and just sort of breaking it all down. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.